Hey guys, Anthony Pietrobona here, online coach and personal trainer. For today's video, I'm just going to talk about caffeine and talk about the main mechanisms of how caffeine actually works in the body and the brain, and the implications why some people think caffeine's bad for you, or why people have problems with them, and the main reasons why caffeine's good for you. So first off, the main mechanism that caffeine actually acts on is these adenosine receptors in the brain. So adenosine is a molecule that attaches on receptors in the brain that actually tends to calm you and make you feel more relaxed. So caffeine competes with these receptors and actually binds to these same receptors in place of these adenosine molecules, which is going to make you feel more alert, stimulated, and have better attention, feel more awake. So the problem with that, though, is that your body actually, it's smart, so it makes more of these receptors the more you use caffeine, the more this caffeine binds to those same receptors. So as you're using caffeine, that's why the tolerance actually increases, because as you're using caffeine, your brain's making more of these receptors for the adenosine to bind to, but the caffeine's still taking its place. So now, this is why you have withdrawal effects. When you stop using caffeine or as much caffeine, these adenosine molecules now attach to the receptors, and then you're going to feel even more tired than usual than if you didn't have caffeine, right? So the main implications of why people think caffeine's bad for you is, one is dehydration, and it's not really proven. So yes, caffeine can help you excrete more water. So if you simply have like 1 to 2 cups more water than usual, you're fine. So the dehydration benefits, the effects haven't really been supported much, but other people are more concerned with their sleep cycles, and yes, that's true. So caffeine can really spike your cortisol levels, which are responsible for metabolizing and using energy, right? So you're going to feel more awake when your cortisol levels are higher. So that's why you have higher cortisol in the morning and in the evening, and more like dinner time. So if you're having coffee at night, or caffeine at night, you're going to be screwing up your sleep-wake cycle and your circadian rhythms, and that's when you get these insomniac like symptoms. So you want to be careful of when you consume your caffeine. Another implication is they're concerned about their adrenal glands, which is a good point too, because caffeine directly acts on noradrenalin, which is adrenaline, responsible for flight or fight response. So if you're constantly exciting your body with caffeine throughout the day, every single day, then over years and years, your natural production and your regulatory systems of your adrenal glands is going to be out of whack, right? So if you're smart about it and you take just certain breaks off, like a week off, or you have times where you taper down your caffeine, don't have as much caffeine, you're going to be fine, right? So with that all out of the way, let's just dive right into the benefits now. So one of the main benefits is the cognitive benefits, right? So studies actually proved that just having as little as 200 milligrams of caffeine throughout the day improves your memory by 18 to 20% for 24 hours, right? So 200 milligrams is 2 coffees, because each coffee is typically 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine, up to 150 milligrams, depending on the size of the cup and the blend. And there's the memory benefits and the alertness and the attention. You're able to learn better because you're more awake. And then there's the antioxidant benefits. So there's actually these polyphenols in caffeine, known as chlorogenic acids. And chlorogenic acids are actually really studied in obesity because they are proven to reduce hunger. So that's one of the main reasons of why people think they feel less hungry from caffeine, is because of these polyphenols from the chlorogenic acids reduce your hunger, so you don't feel as hungry. And then also there's the mood enhancement and the reduction in pain perception. So it acts on serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin is responsible for improving your mood, and the dopamine is responsible for the reward system, similar to cocaine. So caffeine and cocaine actually work on the same thing, and caffeine is also a drug, if you didn't know. Caffeine and cocaine, both drugs, but it works on the dopamine system to a much lesser extent than cocaine and is less addictive. So whenever you have caffeine, you get this really sense of like a good feeling, which is the reward system, and that is responsible for the mood, and which will reduce your pain perception. So it's great for workouts. So you have caffeine right before your workout, you don't feel the pain of the contractions as much, and you're enjoying it much more. So if you're enjoying it much more, you're gonna work harder and push harder, right? So you can get more of your workouts from having caffeine. And then the final benefits are more on metabolism. It's actually proven that it can increase your resting metabolic rate. So at the rate that your body is burning energy just by doing nothing, so at rest, because one, it spikes your heart rate and it can increase your blood pressure. So studies show that if you have 200 to 400 milligrams of caffeine throughout the day, depending on the person, they can burn 50 calories more than if they didn't. So 50 calories extra burned in one day just at rest than if they didn't. Over a 7-day period, that's 350 calories. There's 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So over 10 weeks, if you consumed caffeine, just a couple coffees or a pre-workout supplement once a day, then you could lose 1 full pound of fat over a 10-week span than if you didn't. That sounds small, but it's actually pretty huge for just consuming caffeine, especially since there's all these other benefits with it, right? And the other effect is actually that, again, in terms of metabolism, having caffeine with a meal can help increase the thermic effect of food by 12%, 12 to 20% actually, up to 20%. So your body can use more energy just to break down and digest food if you have caffeine with a bigger meal. So these benefits are all like fantastic, right? Like it sounds like it's too good to be true or something. But you have to keep in mind that everyone has a tolerance to caffeine as well. So these effects are greatly diminished if you're used to having caffeine. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you're used to drinking coffee throughout the day, and then you have a pre-workout supplement that has like maybe 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine in it, your performance enhancing benefits and your lipolytic effects are going to be greatly minimized because your body's used to operating on caffeine throughout the day, that when you have this bolus of caffeine from pre-workout, it's not going to be that comparable to your regular day-to-day routine. So that's the main reason why people say, use pre-workouts sparingly, only use them when you really need them. You don't want to have to develop any like reliances on it because the effects diminish. So yeah, those are the main benefits. And like I said, this is a nice brief video of the benefits, the implications, and the mechanism that works on. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna go train legs. Yeah.